and unmuting, so I'm not so sure. So I'm waiting on him now.
Just go on. It's okay.
It's because the little known fact, like every time we record this podcast, like he actually has a girl blowing him the entire time. So when it gets too good, he has to like mute the.
Oh my god.
Stop making stories.
Speaking of blowing it, welcome to dia.log, the Gamer Matters podcast.
And I actually waited for that to be the cold open. Oh yeah, welcome everyone to dia.log, the Gamer Matters podcast. And as you might have listened to last episode, we have teased that probably we might see a new dawn, or all of us might be thrown into the incinerators. Thankfully, we are all well and alive.
Woohoo! We're not just well and alive. We're free. We have press freedom now. Like with a huge asterisk on it.
And so that kind of opening will stay. And introducing the panel for today, we have one Amiral Wam. Say hello.
Woo!
And next we have Daniel. Say hello, Daniel.
Hello.
And last but not least, and he's back. And he's going to say something. Anan, say hello, Anan.
Hi.
And say hello to the girl under Anand's desk as well.
Nope. Nobody's here.
Hi.
Denying it. Denying won't do much because now we are more suspect about something going on over there. But hey, so here we go. We are now on episode 6 and we have a lot of video game news. But before
Finally.
finally, it's that time of the, not time of the day, it's that time of the year again. E3 season is coming up and a lot of interesting video game news will be discussed. Hopefully. So,
Unfortunately, none of that news is about F1 NBA crossover. So that sucks.
F1 NBA Street Jam.
Unfortunately.
So yeah, celebrating this new dawn in Malaysia, what are you guys have been up to? Wam. So what's happening on your side?
It's been tiring because all I've been doing is reading the news. Because for those of you not aware, we had our first regime change in 61 years. We have a new government, and this has never happened before. So I'm reading the news to make sure that no one's doing anything shady, because it's not about whose team won, it's about making sure that no one's doing anything shitty. And we can say that now.
Thankfully.
No censor.
No censor.
Bring out all the skeletons out of the closet. And all the 20 billion in bags as well. Interesting development indeed. But wow, I have been heard that you are, how I want to put it, you've been tagged into a lot of Facebook comments that you do not want to be tagged. What happened?
Okay, so yeah. But behind the scenes look, if you're listening to this, we have a file that we write every week on what we want to talk about on the podcast. And every week, I always make sure there is one, I call them WAM stories, which are like, they're not related to anything related to video games. They're just times where I want to complain about shit. And I don't know if this happens to anyone else, but this is a complaint about my family. My family have this bad habit. Anytime something happens on Facebook, like if something funny happens on Facebook, they will immediately tag the rest of the family, and it clogs up my notifications. I fucking hate it. My sister posted a meme to my Facebook page the other day, and I made a funny comment about it. The photo was of a cat falling asleep in a lecture hall, and I made a joke about how, like, oh, when it's the cat, when the cat does it, it's cute. When I do it, it's disruptive. And then my sister immediately tags both my parents, like, oh my god, can you believe this? Tags both my parents. And then my parents keep trying to one-up the joke. Like they keep trying to like add something new to the joke, and my notifications are exploding, and I'm just, no, why? My aunt does this as well. Like every time like my grandfather or someone does something silly, she'll tag all of us in it. Like, good God, we know. My God. Like, you don't need to call people to see the thing. We all see the thing. Leave me alone, please.
But they want to share their memes with you. Come on, lah.
No,
Bonding.
share the memes with me. Just stop tagging me and shit. Like there's no, like, I don't know. It's a weird internet culture thing, you know. Like you don't have to tag like a bunch of people. Like they're probably gonna see it anyways. But yeah, so now I sound like a huge grumpo because I just complained about my family on a podcast.
No. I mean, we have to change the name now. We are now in familymatters.com.
Hashtag family matters.
Only on dia.log, remember this podcast?
Aiyo.
So, that's why I'm airing is dirty laundry. Hey, it's a free country now. We can do anything. Until the government step in. Okay, so back
We should get Dr. M on this podcast.
Oh boy.
Oh, yo.
Imagine his
Indeed.
reaction.
Also, you know how before this I mentioned about my plants, and I said that I was scared to water them because I didn't want the seeds to accidentally grow moldy.
Oh,
In my excitement, I poured water into it. So next episode, I will update you if this grows moldy or not.
So expect a wheat update, wheat, not wheat, update on Wam's
Yes.
part next week. So I mean the next episode. So stay tuned for that. And
Yeah.
on to video games finally.
This is my mission, guys. I just derail the podcast as much as I can.
No, we always need you say an icebreaker. And that's why it's always that if one puts something out on the docket, I always jump it up to the top, so we can get into the mood. So yeah, video games again. So is it last weekend, right?
Yeah, last weekend.
So last weekend, me and Daniel stopped by at Battle Arena. Again, a familiar haunt for both of us. And we tune into the Call of Duty World War II Asia Championships. Daniel, can you talk us through what happened there and what's the situation?
Basically, Malaysia lost. We got third place. We lost to Singapore.
Well,
Oh, suck it.
no, technically the organization is Malaysian based. So, but the home favorite lost third. Okay, good. Proceed.
Yeah, so our team, I think it's called Raven, right?
Venom.
Venom. Yeah,
Venom. The Muslim
Yeah.
Malaysian team and the South
Yeah,
Korean.
there's one South Korean. Don't know why. Tapi mungkin dia good at COD. Yeah, we got third place after a very lackluster match. To say the least lah. Tapi watching the Raven, the winners, we played macam whole nother level.
Yeah, and Rampage. It was Rampage Gaming that took the win. Malaysian based Malaysian-based esports organization, but their team is currently 3 Singaporeans and 1 Malaysian, and that 1 Malaysian is Ranger, the guy tearing up on the page. If you are watching the video feed, there's one that guy was basically tearing up, very emotional win, and his manager over the other guy there also shared a hug on stage, and people actually cheered for them. And it's an interesting thing to see because have you guys heard about the Call of Duty scene, Call of Duty esports around here in Malaysia?
Not really. I didn't even know Call of Duty was an esport.
Exactly.
Exactly. And imagine how these people are trying to get a community to get an esports scene running. It's not easy. So
Mhm.
this event in Battle Arena is basically, we say, a big moment for them. Not just for Rampage Gaming, as the winner will be going to CWL Anaheim, another tournament over at the States, California to be exact. It's also an opening for the local, as in Malaysia and also in Southeast Asia. So now that people see the quality of the players playing in the tournament, uh, it opens a lot of eyeballs. So interesting to
Mhm.
see.
Mhm.
I mean, they waited for 2 years
Mm.
for this one event. That's how very emotional he was.
Mm. So I did manage to interview both Ranger, the guy that said I waited 2 years to get this, and also one of the star players from Team Venom, which was Nazmi. And
Oh, the fan favorite.
yeah, the fan favorite. You know that team Venom is the fan favorite when you can hear all the cheers only rooting for that team. We even heard like, oh, itu bosku, that's my boss. But as we talk about it on the interview that we probably just put in on later segment of the podcast. Uh, the guys don't hear it because yeah, they are all in the soundproof booth. So when Ranger explained the whole situation about the crowd, and Nazmi was like awestruck. Oh, I didn't expect this. He as well is he also is not aware of his own capabilities, his own X factor, and he did clutch a few moments, which was interesting to see on stream and interesting to see the crowd react.
Mm. That's cool though. I feel like COD as an esport is one of those things where I'm not sure if it's ever going to like be a big thing, but they're never going to not have enough players because you say, "Hey, I want to play COD," like chances are they're gonna say yes.
True,
Like
true.
Pretty
that's
much.
that's the COD effect essentially.
Yeah, the issue they have is right now, like from the interview that we've done, the issue from their side is mostly about trying to get the people, as in trying to,
The Rakyat.
one is to get the community going, as in try to get the crowd, and another is trying to get sponsors coming in. So
Yeah.
it's still hard because they don't boast the numbers that sponsors look like. Oh, this is good opportunity, investment. How's the ROI? They don't have those kind of numbers, so it's a struggle. It's still a struggle for them.
Mm.
So this is why when like the team like Rampage or mostly don't have big sponsors. Sorry, I don't think they even have any sponsors for. I mean, like hardware sponsors, something like that. But
Mm.
to have them a ticket to Anaheim, at least just a ticket to go there, is a pretty big deal. Even though
Mm.
at the tournament they possibly could, it's hard to actually to get a good result because the tournament is basically just like Evo. It's an open tournament, open brackets,
Oh.
100 teams going in, and if you lose, you lose. You back home. And when you reach the top four, you will then play in the group sessions where other top invited teams that do not have to go through the open brackets play for the championship.
Hmm.
Similar like Dota, I think if the listeners might have followed that sort of scene, because there's an open bracket qualifier and then there's a invitation for the pro teams, the top teams who don't have to go through the
Mm.
qualifiers. But then there are also pro teams that did not get that qualifier and
So
they
they
have
go
to
through they go through the open bracket.
exactly.
Mm.
Mm.
I
So
mean,
hmm?
if they're doing COD like the FGC, right? The most important question is who is the Daigo Umehara of COD?
Good question. I'm not so
Hmm.
sure myself, but in terms of the brand names, they are there. Optic Gaming is there, Face Clan is there. So big organizations. I mean, if you
Hmm.
follow the esports scene, you probably heard of those kind of orgs. So they have the backing of big orgs.
Where's our esports correspondent, Anan?
Yeah, why?
Yeah, why like that? Yeah.
Yeah, those names are familiar. Face Clan, Opti Gaming, Cloud9, Dignitas. I don't know. There's a lot more names.
Wait, you can like the Sony was in the MLG punya thing.
It's spun
Hmm.
off from MLG. Because the Call of Duty World League, if I'm not mistaken, is basically part Pro Circuit and part League. Similar like Overwatch League as well. So they have two things going together. So you have the Pro Circuit is where outside of the pro teams can join in, and then one of them is just like the Pro Circuit where the top teams play.
Like, I'm seeing a bit of a problem with maybe COD esports or something. Do they play on PC or console? Because
Console.
of course,
Just
yeah.
for
Okay. From my observation, like a lot of these esports that are based on console, they're really hard to grow. Quite hard. Even COD is probably the most accomplished console esports ever, and they're really having a problem to attract people now, because it's like you need to pay for the game first, and this time you need to have the skills. But with like games like on PC, free to play games like Dota to League of Legends, you just create account and then play on your skills without any monetary penalty and stuff.
And also that explains how MOBAs are taking off here in Malaysia. Because those things are free, right?
Yeah, Mobile Legend, AOV stuff.
God, I was at a Mobile Legends event at the Curve the other day.
Oh, that event, okay.
Yeah, it was surreal. That's how I would describe it. It's surreal. Because you have this big screen, everyone's watching this Mobile Legends thing, and then like they have like those walls like set up, and behind the walls there's people like just camping out playing Mobile Legends on their phones there. I'm just like, what? Like this is so cool. I wish I was into this so I could be more proud of this, but now I'm just like, okay, yeah, you're playing a game that's currently being sued by Riot for ripping off League of Legends.
Wow, how many do you how large is the crowd when you saw that event? Any numbers you can estimate?
I don't know, I'm really bad with crowd numbers, but like in that square court was pretty full.
Is it at the center court?
The center court for Cineleisure, yeah.
100
Oh,
plus,
yes,
200
pretty big,
plus.
I guess it'll be about 100 people, I guess. I don't know. Again, I'm really bad with crowd numbers, so.
In comparison, the COD World War II Asia Championships, I estimate around 70 to 100 people at most that were there at the event. It's pretty small. Even the venue does not support like 200 people. It's very tight, very small, even though it looks cool.
I think that's a thing. If you have an esports tournament, it has to look cool.
Yeah,
But
it looks cool.
Comparing to the next day's event of FIFA, it was like it was like packed gila.
Oh, I haven't watched the other tournament at Battle Arena the day after, which was the FIFA PlayStation League Asia, I think if the name is.
Yeah.
Is it packed?
Maybe because I see like a big crowd, and the live streaming account is like 2,000 people.
That's
bizarre. The difference between a very established franchise and COD.
You can
know
see.
what we need to do to promote this podcast? We need to like host a Mobile Legends stream or something, like something people watch, and then mute the audio and then just do our podcast over that.
Good God, when I say we want to rope people into a bullshit, that's not what I want to do. I mean that is our main modus operandi to getting guests, but that's not how we roll, man.
Make it play terribly and by orang rage at us.
That's genius. That's genius. Is it in Daniel's version of this plan? Like it's us playing? No, I'm saying we just literally steal someone else's stream.
Oh, it's even worse.
Good God.
We can't podcast while playing. That doesn't make any sense. No, we have to. So we just steal someone else's stream. God. But before we move off the topic of esports, I did want to bring up something about FIFA because FIFA continues to be like the biggest anomaly in gaming for me.
Mm-hmm.
Because at Taylor's Lakeside, we always have. By the way, if you're listening to this and you see me around Taylor's Lakeside, say hi. I might have something for you. Like, I just want to know if anyone listens to this podcast and also happens to go to my university. But yeah, so they always have like events, like fundraising events and stuff from all the clubs and societies and stuff. And without fail, every time there is a PS4 booth, like where they have a PS4 and you can rent the PS4 and play like games or whatever. And always it's just people playing FIFA there.
Pretty much.
Like I'm convinced they're not even customers. They're literally just like, it's just the guy wants to go play FIFA, so he brought his PS4 and his monitor. He's just sitting there playing FIFA all day. Like I'm just like, why? I don't understand. I don't understand FIFA enough to see what the appeal is. You know?
Could be worse, man. My uni did a esports event last week, and they were just playing Mobile Legends. That's even worse, I think.
If you're having a booth and you want to attract people, hire me. I will play Dark Souls there because I will attract all the backseat gamers to come to your booth and then you can sell them food or whatever.
Attract the real nerds.
Yeah,
Means sell some pizza probably. Pizza.
Exactly. Have some chairs behind me while I suffer through Dark Souls, and then they'll sit there and they'll just be like, they'll kutuk me the entire time, but they buy food, so that's good for your booth. Just saying. We'll gladly Dark Souls for money.
Dark Souls for money.
Dark Souls for money. So why I brought up pizza? Because the next topic has something to do with pizza. Do you guys know that Nintendo America's head honcho, Reggie Fils-Aimé, used to work at Pizza Hut before going to Nintendo? Fun fact.
That's why he brings you good games in half an hour or less.
I was going to say that's why he bought in the Nintendo Labo.
Oh yeah, exactly. You just got the Domino's box when you.
When Nintendo and Pizza Hut collaborates to do something about Labo, you all know. You heard from here first. So yeah, wow.
Hashtag E3 leaks.
So again, one of your odd topics on the docket. So what happened with you and Reggie Fils-Aimé?
Okay, so like I am a fan of handheld gaming, right? Like I think handheld gaming, despite the fact that it's dying, like it's an important part of gaming because mobile gaming and handheld gaming are not the same. And fuck the Game Awards for making them the same category a few years ago. So I have a 3DS. I just dug out my brother's Vita. I'll talk about it in a bit. The other day, I had a dream. Right, like I woke up in the morning.
Oh boy!
I was getting ready for class, and I pulled out my Nintendo Switch, and packed it up to go. And then suddenly I woke up, like for real, and I was like, "Oh, I don't have a Nintendo Switch." And for the rest of the day, I couldn't stop thinking about a Nintendo Switch. Like I was like, "Can you imagine if I had a Nintendo Switch? Like the shit I could do with it. Like I could just, because I go for class like 3 hours early because of parking issues. So like for those 3 hours, I could just set up the Switch and play like I could ajak my friend to play Smash or Pokken or whatever on the Switch. Or like whenever my friends talk about gossip or shit that I don't care about, I can just headphones up and play Dark Souls. Like, and just the entire day, like I just really wanted a Switch. Like I was looking up prices, I was checking what games were already available on the Switch. And I'm convinced Reggie Fils-Aimé incepted me. Like he incepted my dreams. And I was like, get a Switch.
He planted a seed in your head to buy a Switch. Buy a Switch.
Yeah, to buy a Switch.
So
Because I
this,
think we've mentioned this in a podcast. None of us have a Switch. We all want a Switch so that we can review Switch games. But
Yeah, very much. Maybe someday.
here's my problem with the Switch, right? It's like I like personally for me, there's a lot of games I would get if I had a Switch, but there's no game that makes me want a Switch. You know?
okay.
Like the only reason I have a 3DS is because Pokemon Y came out. Pokemon X and Y came out. I bought it like 2 weeks before X and Y came out. I was like, my mom was like, "Oh, do you want to buy a game like to wait until Pokemon?" I'm like, no, I will not enjoy any game until Pokemon comes out. So I just had a 3DS with no games.
Actually worse.
Okay.
Okay, lah tu.
But yeah, so to counter the being incepted by Reggie Fils-Aimé, I dug up my brother's PS Vita, and I'm gonna go see how many PS Plus games I can download on it to satiate my need for handheld gaming. Because there's not many 3DS games anymore to play. Like the fact that we don't have access to the eShop kind of sucks.
Yeah, it's still locked into. No, we don't have like Asia region yet. Yeah, is it?
Something like that.
Yeah.
Mine is set to US because I couldn't even update my games. That's how bad the eStore for Malaysia is. Couldn't fucking play Monster Hunter because it wouldn't update, so I had to change my region to US. Thanks for nothing, Reggie Fils-Aimé. Now they're incepting me and trying to get me to buy.
Well, the Switch is region lock free.
Okay, can you just imagine like all the good shit about like the functionality of the Switch is what makes me want one. The idea that I can plop it down and split the Joy-Cons and be like, yo, let's play whatever. Like that's why I want to Switch. Or rather, that's why Reggie Fils-Aimé made me want a Switch by jumping into my dreams.
And now I worry that in the coming days, one of us will be incepted as well. So he's slowly planting the seeds though. So Gamer Matters, get a Switch.
You know, he's like, you know the old X-Men movies, like the way Professor X like hooks up to Cerebros. Like that's Reggie Fils-Aimé right now. He's got the helmet on. He's like, he can see all the people who don't have a Switch. He's like, buy a Switch.
He did say everyone will get a Switch someday.
And that is how he does it. Inception.
Yeah, he's got Cerebros set up in Nintendo HQ to make us all get a Switch.
Send the message. Buy the Switch.
Buy the Switch. God. Then how I rationalized it was that E3 is coming up. Like if they announce a new Pokemon game, like at E3, then I might get a Switch. But it has to be like the best damn Pokemon game because I am tired. Like Sun and Moon kind of like burned me out.
Yeah, see.
There's been talks about Pokemon on Switch, right? So
there is a Pokemon game on Switch being developed. So I'm guessing it'll be announced at E3 because they don't like having E3s where they don't talk about Pokemon.
So yeah, stand by for other attacks from Reggie Fils-Aimé for all Gamer Matters crews. Hands on deck.
Keep in view. If next episode Danial gets visited by Fils-Aimé in his dreams,
then
I
we
might
know
buy
why.
it close.
he's just going on a date with Reggie. Like that's his dream, is he's going on a date with Reggie, and Reggie's like gives him a Switch, and he's like, "Here, Daniel, it can play games anywhere. Games like Skyrim and Fallout 3 and."
Oh no. Let's not talk about Fallout 3. Let's talk about a good game. Let's talk about God of War.
Yeah, much better.
So basically, I finished God of War.
How was it?
God of War. I am very surprised at how the game keeps on going and going and going. But this game
That sounds more like a criticism than a...
No, the thing is, I didn't want it to stop because it's that kind of good. Here's the thing.
Oh.
Here's the thing. Remember that in the last few episodes, I talked about how it marries the gameplay and story well together, right?
Mm-hmm.
Without spoiling anything, it does that thing right until the end, and I love it.
Mm.
It and something about the combat. I think a lot of the things that if I have one gripe, it's still about the combat. It's because I have this sort of love and hate relationship with the combat because, as you know, the camera can be a bit too tight, too close over the shoulder,
Mm-hmm.
and at certain times it's manageable, and when you as the game progresses, it becomes unmanageable again, and then manageable again, and then unmanageable again because the enemies keeps on coming. They've changed there are a lot of variations of the enemies despite the same models. They have different move
Mm-hmm.
sets. So it'll change the combat a bit more lah. And that's another spoiler as well because the combat opens up even more like halfway through the game.
I think this is the combat opens up when you go to hell, right, or something like that.
Yeah, when you reach when you
Yeah.
reach hell, it finally feels oh no, no. It feels like, you know, like how God of War is trying to be, we are going into Norse mythology, we are leaving all the past behind, right?
Mm-hmm.
Again, it plays into the story. The game plays again into the story. It is still what's the word? It is still a God of War game, and it felt worth it. It felt earned when the moment say
Mm.
when at the start Kratos is being all over, like wants to keep the past behind, and then at that
Mm.
midpoint, oh, it's God of War again. Oh, no wonder. All right, that's cool. That's cool.
Oh, while we're talking about God of War, we cannot, like, it is haram if we don't bring up the fact. I can't remember which news site did it, but they got the voice actor for Kratos to read a bunch of dad jokes.
That's Polygon. That's good, man.
Finally, a good article, Polygon.
That's good
That is
content for Polygon. Credits
that is
due.
amazing.
No, it's interesting because you don't expect Kratos to pull off that jokes, and he did
Yeah.
not. He stayed in character. That's a good thing. But he still
Yeah.
delivered the hilarity because he has this trait of telling bad stories.
Yep.
This is the story of a hare and a turtle. The turtle wins by discipline and education. That's not a story.
Yeah, that's great. Like, I'm glad that God of War is doing so well. Because, like, yeah, because it sounded so cynical at first, like, oh, we're gonna make a Dark Souls clone and call it God of War. And then now it's like, oh, they didn't. They made an actually good game. That sounds really cool. Thank you, base Sony.
Yeah, thank you, Cory Balrog. And yeah, and there's a lot of what do you say? There's a lot of earn moments there, and there's a lot of, you can see how the devs really put into care of what are the things they want to do as telling the story, and then as well as a signposting. Oh, you player, you can go here now. So there's a lot of moments where Atreus just say the boy will just say, oh, we can go off and explore now. Don't, as in, to tell the player that, hey, it's okay, don't rush into the critical path. There's a lot of other content to explore, and the content, the optional content, are massive. As in, there are like 2 or 3 massive levels that should be like, oh, this sort of level should have been in the critical path, but it isn't. You can totally skip it, but it's still big. It takes around 2 to 3 hours to complete, to actually get all the collectibles around that location, and it's pretty surprising. And to imagine that there's a lot of potential because in the game you travel through other realms. In the Norse mythology, there are a lot of realms that are existed in parallel. But the other places that you can go is you can see is very limited. But if you read up on the not read up as well, you can hear a lot of the interviews, post release interviews. They say a lot about cutting a lot of the content from other realms. It left me to major good god, this game could have been longer. I finished it around 30 hours, including doing the a few of the side quests. It's
Wow.
pretty surprising. I think the critical path should be around 20 hours.
What?
And I think I spent like 5 hours in one of the optional combat trials because I kept on losing again and again and again. I didn't stop. I took 2 days, 2 days, 2 and 3 hour sessions just to complete one trial.
Wow.
It goes to show that I still have a beef with the combat because it's sometimes good, it sometimes feel like character action, sometimes it's just overwhelming. I don't know what to do here. This game feels unfair, but I still have the motivation to keep on playing. So yeah, good game.
Okay.
Good game, and yeah, review coming soon. Well, probably people already know the game's good, but yeah, for Gamer Matters, we'll have a review on the site anyway. So expect that to come soon.
Soon, because we like doing it 2 weeks later than others.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I always felt like our review nowadays, gaming site reviews, like if you're not IGN or one of the big ones, like they're more portfolio pieces than news pieces. It's more like you're doing it for the PR companies. So when they check, like they look at all your reviews and be like, okay, yeah, we can give this company. I have no factual evidence to back this up, but I just feel like that's what it feels like sometimes.
Speaking of feelings, no, I don't know. I don't know how do you feel, Wam, because you have another slot here, and it's all about Warhammer.
This is a very
And this is why Danial and Anan, you guys have to suggest something on the docket, because if not, Wam will rant all day long. Not that I'm complaining.
This one isn't a rant, it's news. It's news covering, like, because this last weekend was Warhammer Fest.
Alright, go.
So there's the patch notes?
Huh?
Patch notes?
Yeah. No, Warhammer Fest is like, they just announced like a bunch of new Warhammer stuff. Like, I'm scrolling through the thing now because I should have linked to it on the docket, but no, I was hoping like you guys would talk about God of War more, so I'd finish scrolling through it. Basically, the main thing is we're getting this board game called Adeptus Titanicus, which is, from what I understand, 40k BattleTech, essentially.
More BattleTech.
There's these things in 40k called the Imperial Knights. They're like these giant robot things. And there's even larger robots called Titans. And they cannot be included in the tabletop because scale-wise they're massive, like the cities on legs, essentially. So Adeptus Titanicus is in a different scale. So the Imperial Knights are tiny, and the cities are like, they're a manageable size, you know. There's also like, we're getting a bunch of models. Like I really should have written all the shit down. Like I had to like quickly scroll through and get the stuff. Basically, we're getting like a bunch of new models for shit. Like there's this elf faction in 40k. They're called Harlequins, but we know them as clown elves. And they're getting their codex. So yeah, that's great. My favorite thing, the main thing I wanted to bring up from this, like the whole reason I added this to the docket, is because there's a new model. It's called the Corn Lord on Dragon. It's for Warhammer Fantasy. And I'm putting the image in the chat for you guys to have a live reaction to how huge this thing is.
Alright.
Hold on, I forgot I'm on PC, so the controls changed a bit. Now, the average, like, the tiny dude at the bottom there is about like 4 centimeters tall. Actually, less than that. It's probably like 3 centimeters. Yeah. That whole thing behind him is one model.
Oh my god!
Woo!
I imagine someone bringing that to the board games.
Yeah,
event.
man. It's beautiful. Like, it's the size of an actual lizard.
Just pop it like that on the table. Alright, here's my.
For those who can't see, Daniel, can you describe what the
A fatter Skyrim dragon.
Yeah, it's a chubby boy. It's a chubby boy, big ass wings, big feet. Like, it's massive. We're getting a lot of big units, and they
Absolute
all look,
lad.
Absolutely.
yeah.
I feed my
absolute-
son and it's getting stronger.
Yeah, so 40k is getting a bunch of really cool stuff, and that's really great. So the one game, I don't know how many of us played this. I know me and Meck played this over the weekend. We also had the Blazblue Cross Tag Battle beta.
Or
The-
as the announcer in the starting screen say, "BUUREE BUURRUU!" Cross Tag Battle.
Not if you're Ruby. If you're Ruby, it's Blazblue Cross Tag Battle. Please don't make me do that ever again.
You have to do that when we do the live show.
Good God, that starting screen. Oh, at the moment I know that you can turn Ruby Rose voice into JP voice. I've turned it.
It's not that bad.
No, it's not that bad, but that scream of BUUREE BUURRUU is it left a bad taste in my mouth.
Like,
So to
I
say.
used to watch Ruby, and like what I can tell is like the voice actress, her name is Lindsay Jones. It's like the Ruby voice gets less annoying the longer her line is. Like, she has a fixed amount of Rubiness, and so the shorter, like the shorter her breath is, the more like nasally it gets. So it's like Blazblue Breathe Cross Tag Breathe Battle. That's why it's so nasally. But when she's like talking like normal stuff, it's not so bad. Well, yeah, so what are our thoughts on Blazblue Cross Tag Battle? Before I have to do the voice again.
For those who do not know, BUUREE BUURRUU, that's the official pronunciation actually. Let's just call it Blazblue. Blazblue Cross Tag Battle is a 4-way crossover of Blazblue characters, characters from Persona 4 Arena, characters from Other Night Inbirth, or Other Night Inbirth EXE last something, but it's abbreviated to Uniel.
Arcs games.
And to the surprise of many, Ruby, which is not a video game. Well, not started as a video game,
They have a video game.
yeah, they do have a video game. I just remember.
Before we get on to like talking about that, I just want to say like there's a really sweet thing about putting Ruby in BlazBlue, is that the creator of Ruby, he passed away a few years ago, Monty Ohm. I vaguely remember him like mentioning that he was very much like he loved games like BlazBlue, like, and I think people like have asked him before whether like, because Ruby is very similar to Ragnar, their weapons are very similar. There's a bit of, so I think he would have liked seeing the fact that Ruby is now in a BlazBlue game. So yeah, we miss you, Monty. Yeah, back to talk about BlazBlue.
So
Play a fighting game. What?
Fighting game, yeah. But the only thing I hear about BlazBlue is like, since there is Persona 4 Arena, there's this one I think you guys know is Yukiko,
Yeah.
the characters of Persona 4. She's becoming, as they say, a punching bag for the training mode.
yeah, because in the beta you don't really have a training mode. So
Yeah, that's
what pro players
weird.
do is use Yukiko as the 2-player player and Yukiko has this regeneration ability. So when they try to do a combo, and then the life is almost diminished to zero. Heal up, and then start continue again with the combo. So she literally is the punching bag at the current beta, which you can download now.
Yeah, the offline beta. Yeah.
It's just so funny to me. Just watching like Maximilian, one of the FSG's top streamer, like doing that just makes me laugh.
But yeah, the interesting thing about Cross Tag Battle is because this is actually three different games, three different fighting games with different mechanics. So when they all combine into this one game, they basically just redesign all their moves, as in how the battle layout works is different. So like you have like for Cross Tag Battle, you have one attack button. No, two attack buttons, A and B. C is called Clash for a very specific move, and D is the tag out. So basically to change your partner. This is 2v2 game, so you pick two characters.
Yeah, can I say like it reminds me a lot of Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, because Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite had a very similar button layout.
Exactly.
And I'm liking this because it is a very accessible game. Like, cause I'm shit at fighting games, and like I play Chrono Phantasma Extend, and I'm just like I need the combo assist mode because I am too shit at this. But like it's a very accessible game because now there's no heavy or light punch button. It literally does attack 1 and attack 2. So and there's an auto combo in the game. Like if you press A 4 times or B 4 times, you have a different auto combo.
Yeah.
So it's easy to play and difficult to master, because I hear like the high tier players are still like experimenting with it because it's so different.
It is totally different because I recently played Blazblue. What's the latest version again?
Central Fiction,
right? So I played Noel. I tried Noel because she has a lot of magic combo where you keep on climbing like light punch to medium punch or heavy to medium back to light. You rotate a lot of the buttons. It's fun. So when I played the Cross Tag Battle beta, the characters don't work that way. So you probably just need to switch around attack 1 and 2, A and B a lot. So it's a very different feeling. And like for Persona characters, you have one button for attack, one button dedicated for Persona magics, skills. So it's very different. So you can't do those kind of magic combo where you climb from light to medium to heavy again.
Have you tried you in Cross Tag Battle?
Yeah, he feels very different.
He's got the slide of justice, man. It's amazing.
Yeah, that slide is cool, but
it eats 1 meter and like goes full screen. It's great.
Yeah, it isn't at the input is not what I remembered from playing P4 Arena. So they played around with the input changes a lot lah. Even though the skills, the move set is the same, but a lot of the input have been changed.
I should say like Noel, her main combo is still in Cross Tag Battle, but it's her auto combo for if you press B, like if you do her B auto combo, it's a very familiar combo from CPX and Central Fiction. And my friend and I have learned the invulnerability on that move is insane. Like that combo, she is invulnerable for so much of that combo. And like if you are being attacked by Noel and you like jump to the other side to avoid her combo, her next hit will automatically lock onto you and she'll like dash across the screen to get back to you. Like it is insane. My friend kept trying to keep me away with like fireballs and stuff, and you just go through them like you don't give a shit. Great. Also, every character has a Shoryuken. Like you no longer have to do the dragon punch motion to uppercut.
Yeah, universal
great.
Dragon Punch.
It's A and D. All characters have the same input for dragon punch, and you're invulnerable for most of it as well. So it's great. My friend and I played a lot against each other, and it was literally just doing the ballsiest shit ever, like running up to someone and dragon punching them. See who gets the dragon punch out first because the other one is invulnerable.
And you know how much, even though I didn't like Ruby as much in terms of her voice, but as a character, oh boy, she fits like a glove in this game.
Except her jab. Her jab sucks. I hate her jab so
Okay,
much.
she's not a poking character. She don't jab. The jab is bad. But if you play zoning, if you keep using that rifle, it's pretty good. You can make a lot of space. A lot
I
of
love
space.
all the Scythe characters in this game. You have like Ragnar, you have Ruby, and you have Godot.
And I love the no, each character when you pair up the duo, they have like unique pre and post comments, which is
Yeah.
pretty nice. I like how Ruby was just a Scythe user. She's fangirling about other Scythe users. That's cool.
I was watching all the unique intros. Ragnar gets no respect at all. Like all his intros are someone giving him shit. he's always just, Ragnar's just tired. Like he's had 3 Blazblue games already. He's just like, please. Speaking of Gordo though, like of all the Scythe users, Gordo has like insane range. Like I think his scythe is like made of blood or something. It's just this huge thing. Like it's like I think 3/4 of the screen probably. It's great. Gordo, best character for range, and he can grab too.
So they haven't nerfed anything yet, right?
No, it's just the beta.
Oh,
Anything can happen afterwards.
anything can happen. Your
But-
best range probably be the worst.
Oh, so there's like a lot of leaks like about DLC characters, potential DLC characters and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Because apparently the Switch version is very easy to data mine.
What a surprise.
So there's standard stuff like Nine the Phantom, and then the rest of Team Ruby is already announced as DLC.
Yep.
But the most scandalous piece of DLC they've talked about so far is they found voice lines for that seem to imply that there are Senran Kagura characters coming to the game.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
Asuka.
ho, 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 ho.
I see.
I don't know how, but I totally want Senran Kagura characters in a fighting game, especially an Arc Sys fighting game.
Has Sandra
I want-
Kagura appeared in a fighting game before?
I don't
Nope.
not as a guest character. I think there's probably a Senran Kagura fighting game, but I'm pretty sure there's no they've never been in another fighting game.
So they have to make all the sprites. So basically,
Yeah,
they are pouring a lot of money if this is true.
I hope so. Even if it's not true, I hope that Arc Sys took a look at this and went, "That's a good idea. We should do that." Good. Yeah, so I mean, all the Ruby characters were made from scratch, and you can tell because their sprites are a lot cleaner than everyone else's.
The rest are pretty. It doesn't look as well on 1080p screens.
Yeah,
Or
looks-
4K.
It looks good. It's just like you can tell that these were not made in the same year.
Yeah, they just copy and pasted them.
Yeah.
And you can
One,
up-res
two.
sprites.
Yep. Yeah, like, that's why you gotta be like Skullgirls, vector that shit.
True that.
Also, like playing as the Persona characters, because my team is Noel and you for the most part. Like, it makes me want an Arc Sys JoJo's Bizarre Adventure fighting game really badly, like an arcade fighter, not that last shitty one that came out.
Or the action adventure thing.
Yeah, I want an arcade fighter made by Arc Sys, preferably with like the pixel art style, or Guilty Gear style, whichever one.
I mean,
But
Arxis
yeah.
has done Dragon Ball, and in the past they have already done Hokuto no Ken. So anything is game for them actually. So
Yeah,
yeah.
this year's Evo is the year of Arxis, man. We have I think it's Central Fiction and I don't know, Dragon Ball Fighter Z and Cross Tag Battle are both gonna be at Evo this year. So
Yeah,
Busy.
good stuff
Very,
for
very
Arxis.
busy.
great year to be Arxis. Except you're also probably working overtime a lot, so that sucks.
But how about being a Square Enix developer? So we are moving to the news section,
Yep.
and we start this section with a bang because what is happening with the Final Fantasy VII Remake? It's
Okay,
going to
there's
be
an
out at 2023.
Okay, I just got an update on that this morning because apparently, like, this whole hullabaloo started over a translation error because because someone asked like this people from Square Enix, and they said like, oh, it'll probably be out by 2023, but the translator forgot to note that they said it in like a joking way. Like even they're making fun of how long FF7 is taking.
Oh, okay.
You know it's bad when they start making jokes.
Yeah, even they're in on the meme as well. So that's why. But yeah, so everyone freaked out because they said that FF7 would come out in 2023, even though they meant it as a joke. The problem is it's taking so long that people believed it.
I mean, it's a reasonable target to achieve. Because
Listen, man,
Hmm?
2023 means like another election. Like that's how long it would take before.
nah, it'll be fine. Okay, no, but seriously though, Final Fantasy VII Remake is, in terms of the development, hasn't been going as smooth as we expected though, because they started with a development project with CyberConnect 2, and then CyberConnect 2 was pulled out of the project to become a Nintendo project from Square Enix, and now recently they are hiring people, they are pulling the talents, so it's still early days.
Yeah.
What were they doing in the last 4 years?
No, that's what CyberConnect was working on it for the past 4 years, and then apparently like their work wasn't up to quality. Like
From Square Enix?
ever since 13, now Square Enix cares about quality, I guess. So
Mm-hmm. So that's 4 years under the drain.
Yep.
Yo,
I
4
think
years.
yeah, that's rough. I guess like because they take extra care when it's FF7 because everyone loves FF7, so they can't make a shitty FF7. Like if you remake a game and the superior version is the PS1 version, then you're in trouble.
The one that's like 20 years old now.
Yeah, the one that's 20 years old. If people say don't buy the FF7 remake, just get a PS1 on eBay and play FF7, then you probably have an issue. Probably have some kind of issue going on there.
Just imagine let's remember the reaction during the Final Fantasy VII Remake announcement. People are go they lost their minds when they heard remake, when they saw the word remake under that logo. And 4 years later, we still have nothing.
They pop
You know
up
what's especially
crashes.
funny? In between their remake announcement and now, like in that time, Shadow of the Colossus remake was announced and released.
Yeah.
Hmm.
That's how long.
I mean, they're different scope games. I get it, but at the same time, it's like yeah, another remake was announced and then released. Shadow of the Colossus though, great game. I wanna get the remake when it's on sale.
Mm.
Summer sale, man, it's coming. It is coming.
It
Yeah.
is coming. And let's move on to another bummer of Square Enix news.
Yeah.
We keep on piling on
Zero.
Square Enix.
Yeah, this isn't a bummer. This is great. This is good news. It's about not being dead.
I mean, it's good news, but it has layers in it. So basically,
Oh, it's onions.
yeah, onions, because Eidos Montreal confirms that Deus Ex is not dead. I can confirm that it's not dead. That was the quote from David. How do I
Cage?
pronounce his name? No, not David Cage. No, put him in the cage.
Yeah.
He must not touch Deus Ex. Not on my lifetime. David Anfosi, head of Eidos Montreal, says that Deus Ex is not dead. I can confirm that. But the problem is, it's not in development either. And
So
as
it's dead.
it leaves a lot of worrisome tones, because they still want to put in Deus Ex in the future, but they are still long way from making any production going, because Eidos Montreal is, as we know, is developing Shadow of the Tomb Raider.
Oh. Mm-hmm.
And then they are assisting Crystal Dynamics with that Avengers project that we probably might hear coming E3.
Oh yeah.
And then the third thing is a brand new IP, or probably just some IP that they haven't announced, and that is not Deus Ex. So you can see the queue to get a new Deus Ex coming. That will take years until we get to see another Deus Ex.
Yeah.
So basically, Deus Ex is going to come out at the same year as Final Fantasy VII 2023 then? That's a good prediction, I think.
No, that's when the announcement is. That E3 is going to be when we're going to hear about a new Deus Ex.
Yeah, pretty
Then
much. And
it's
then
gonna start
the
development.
pre-orders and blah blah blah.
Oh boy. But yeah, it's,
Yeah.
When is
Hmm?
when is Deus Ex what's set in the first one? 20
Oh.
something and
the first Deus Ex.
Ah.
It's we haven't reached that year yet. 2090, 2080 something. It's far flung future.
Okay, lah, it's safe.
Okay, yeah, I was about to say that.
But I think the prequels, the ones Eidos Montreal is handling, is closer. 2020 something, 2030 something. I forgot about it.
That's your release date.
The release date is when the events in
yeah.
Deus Ex Human Revolution started.
Mm-hmm.
That'll be good.
You know, like that day they're going to have a big Deus Ex announcement of some kind. It's like how Pacific Rim, they did, the fandom had like a celebration on the day of the first kaiju attack,
That's sweet.
because it was like 2015, I think, or 2016. Yeah, was the day of the first kaiju attack. So I can't remember what the fandom did. I just remember like everyone was like, "Happy Kaiju Day!" It's like, okay, cool.
Right.
But yeah, if you are a Deus Ex fan, you can still hope, but don't expect it to come anytime soon. And also, I would like to point out that this is not the first time the saying of Deus Ex is not dead, because a few months back, the CEO of Square Enix also confirms that Deus Ex is still just on hiatus. So, double confirm. So, just sit back and relax. Don't expect anything soon.
What if it's in the Half-Life pit, you know, where everyone keeps saying Half-Life 3 isn't dead, because it would be bad for stocks if they say Half-Life 3 is dead? I'm saying, what if they're treating Deus Ex like the Emperor of Mankind? Like, we can't tell everyone that he's dead, so it's on psychic life support, and we feed it 1,000 game devs every day to keep it alive, but actually it's dead.
That is highly likely, actually.
I'm pretty sure that's what's going on with Half-Life. Like, they just keep feeding it Valve employees. It's like the Emperor of Mankind. They've built the golden throne for Half-Life 3. And it's just like, another sacrifice for the golden throne.
What are they hiring new employees?
Yeah, that's what they hired him for, as sacrifices to the Golden Throne to keep Half-Life alive. It's speaking of games and whether they're coming out or not. A personal game that it's close to my heart is this game called Death's Gambit, produced by Adult Swim Games. You may have remembered it many E3s ago. It's this pixel art game, looks very Dark Souls.
Mm-hmm.
And they also they couldn't have tailored the initial press release to me more. They were like, oh, we want our game to be like a mix of Dark Souls and Shadow of the Colossus. I'm like, okay, I'm in. Jump on. And like aesthetically, it's very Dark Souls. Like it has the whole gothic aesthetic, and it's a very Metroidvania kind of gameplay, and it looks really cool. Never had a release date, and so E3s have gone by with no like news on it. And then suddenly the other day they were like, "Hey, we have a release date now." The game comes out August 14th, I think? Question mark.
Yeah, August 14th.
August 14th, yeah.
Mm-hmm. According to
But-
Sim, that it is.
But I have a problem. The new trailer, because the game is pixel art, right? But the new
Uh-huh.
trailer has cutscenes, and if you watch that trailer, they are the 2D cutscenes, like the drawn cutscenes. They are not great. They are kind of shit, and I wish they hadn't done that.
Yeah,
Like, it's pointless. Like, this kind of game isn't famous for having cutscenes anyways, so why bother? Like, why start now? I hope those are just for the trailers and not actually in the game. Because yeah, they look really bad, and I'm sorry to the people working on this. Like, your hard work is appreciated, but also it looks like garbage. Just saying.
gameplay looks good. That's
Yeah.
a good sign.
Yeah, the gameplay looks great. Apparently, like, all the bosses are respawning, so you can always go back and refight a boss.
Oh.
I don't know if that's still in the game, but in an earlier build of the game, it mentioned that was the case. I don't know if I'm gonna get it on PC or PS4 though, because looks like a fun game.
Interesting.
No, interesting because this is coming on August 14, right?
Yeah,
And there's another 2D Metroidvania Dark Souls-like game also coming out around that time, around August, called Dead Cells.
ooh,
Dead Cells is in early access, and it has recently announced that it will leave early access by August, and it will also launch on PS4 and Switch.
huh. Switch.
Again.
It's a sign.
Reggie planting the
Holy
seeds
shit.
again.
It really is a Metroidvania. I just saw a fucking Metroid.
Kan? No, that was the takeaway when I heard that you said, "Oh, Deus Gambit coming out." Hey, wait a sec. I thought there's another Metroidvania, 2D Metroidvania Dark Souls-like game also coming out around that time. And Dead Cells coming out as well.
It looks very fast-paced.
Yeah, I think it's much faster than Death's Gambit. Death's Gambit has this focus on like big bosses, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Dead Cells is more Metroidvania in that way, where there's a lot of traversal, you have a lot of
Yeah,
upgrades
yeah.
to collect, but the combat
You move
feels
really fast.
the combat feel they say it's tough but fair. Basically, it's a Dark Souls game.
I love that all these games are coming out in August because it just feels like a birthday present for me. They're like, hey, Dark Souls nerd, here's a bunch of hard games for you. Like, thank you so much. Adult Swim, please give me a free copy of Death's Gambit. But yeah, it looks good. Is it? If it's on early access, that means it's a playable.
Yep, it's on Steam now.
Oh, checking that out.
And now we will hear a purchase being made live on the dia.log, the Gamer Matters podcast.
Again.
Probably.
No, wait, what was the first time we did that? I don't remember. What was-
Unreleased E3 one.
Sonic All Stars didn't count because
No. Sonic All Stars, I bought it at a later date. What was it? What was it that we bought? I don't even remember.
I didn't remember as well.
Yeah, kena check back lah ni.
Yeah.
No, we already have 5 episodes already. This is the 6th, so it started to feel hard to recount back. Which episode again? Which
was it
episode again?
Monster Prom? Was it Monster Prom that someone bought Monster Prom during the podcast?
Daniel, you bought Monster Prom
No.
during the podcast. Oh no.
No.
It'll be one until we can recall that memory. And speaking
Okay.
of recalls,
Wait. Before that great segue, there's a lot of like E3 news that we're gonna talk about. So why don't we just get the non E3 stuff out of the way so we can go on like a straight E3 go?
alright. So saving that last. Alright. And next
Yeah.
we have we should deliver an eulogy. No, is that how eulogy?
Eulogy is what happens when it's a frat boy who dies.
I mean that's fitting.
He
Because
only lived once, but he lived.
I mean Bosky Productions that we are going to talk about have that kind of dude bro mentality around that studio. And yeah, sad to see that they are shutting their doors.
Mm-hmm.
Rip.
Rip. Press F.
Yeah, it was meant to be lah, because Lawbreakers was it was 50-50, and the new one, right, Radical Heights, sounds interesting on people, but it's just copying the Fortnite, I think.
I heard that like
Yes.
Lawbreakers was actually good, but just like TV was saying that that it's a good game. It's just shit at explaining why it's a good game.
Yeah, pretty much actually.
Yeah, in terms of the quality is there. It feels good to shoot. It feels good to use the abilities. Sorry. But the problem is, there isn't anyone playing. You can count with your fingers at one
Let
time
me-
the concurrent
let me check
players.
Let's look that up. Concurrent players.
You can count with your fingers
Lawbreakers.
even at peak times. Which is really sad to hear and see.
Peak players 25.
Ooh.
Okay, that's a bit better than what I've heard for quite a while.
Average players 3.3.
Oh no, it's so
Yeah.
sad.
It's the same as our viewers, man. We're the Lawbreakers of podcasts. Oh, did it go on sale in May 2017? Because like it had a 1,870% increase in players.
I think it was a free weekend. I remember they did one of those.
Yeah, the peak players that month was 3,159. Oh my god, even at launch they had 29 players peak. That's really sad.
It's the thing. And to hear, if you followed the news around Cliffy B, the spokesperson, the founder of Bosky Productions, he talks a lot and he boasted a lot. And so to see the result to be like this, one, people will be clapping, and two, it's just sad because he was the one of the big names that helped made Gears of War. He did good games before.
Also, 10 people have played it in the past 24 hours.
That enough for one match, 5v5.
Yeah. Really sad. I remember not liking Lawbreakers because I was Kotaku, or one of the news sites, is ran an article called it the Dark Souls of FPS. Fun fact: if you want to draw my ire, call something the Dark Souls or something.
One cool thing about Lawbreakers, you can shoot from behind. No. You can pull your gun to the back and shoot.
Yeah, you can blind fire behind you, right? Yeah.
Yeah, basically. And in the anti-grav zone, where you basically have zero gravity, you can use that as a momentum propeller. Pop, 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 pop.
Yeah, man. Like
That's
Ruby.
Exactly.
Let's see what else is in our non-E3 stuff. Daniel, there's a new F1 game coming out this August.
Yeah,
Hey.
yes, it is.
F1 stick into the docket. I didn't notice.
You didn't realize that?
It moves so fast.
And then it crashed into its teammate, and then the only thing I know about F1. Yeah, so talk about that.
Well, what's there to see? There's no screenshots yet, but they say they want to bring back the old cars.
Oh, it's like a COD announcement. It's literally just like, hey, new F1.
Yeah, it's basically like FIFA by now. It's like it's already like a decade, I think. Yeah, it's basically like FIFA. So basically, this is the equivalent of the classic Ultimate Team. They bring out the old cars back, and they're bringing back a feature that was removed in 2012. I think it was interviews. Because since FIFA already have interviews, why not we just bring that back?
What, interviews? So you have to like talk to the press?
Yeah, pretty much. Like there's three choices. Like it was positive, negative, and halfway. So basically RPG.
Oh man, can you be Renegade Schumacher?
May everyone hit you.
Oh man, that'd be great. I'm gonna play as Paragon Raikkonen and
I mean, Paragon Raikkonen is fitting.
Paragon Raikkonen and Renegade Barrichello.
Yeah, the car's terrible every time.
Renegade K-Mac.
Finish first. Yeah, the car's terrible.
I wonder how they are going to how do you say this? They're going to represent the Halo.
Oh
in the
no!
Oh, the ugly thing now. Aduh.
No wonder they didn't put screenshots yet.
They don't want to ruin it.
Yeah, because there are already mods for F1 2017, right? For the Halo.
Yeah.
Come order. How are they going to do
What
it?
Halo is this? Explain for people who don't know, like me.
It's a new safety device that is covered around the helmets of the driver in cars. Ironically, it saved a driver last week at F2, so I guess it works.
So basically, it's not an open cockpit. You have this one ring around the area of the cockpit.
I just looked it up. I must say, calling it a Halo is a kindness because my first thought was toilet seat.
Yeah, that's what the press said, man.
Some people might say that when they don't like it, and there are many.
I mean, I feel like this is just like we're slowly going to get a windscreen for these cars. Like before this, they didn't have a windscreen, and now we're just slowly moving in the direction of a windscreen.
Yeah, the ES equivalent of F1, they call it IndyCar. They're using it already. Windscreen.
Yeah.
So anytime it's becoming F0.
Yeah, man.
Oh no, not F0. Wipeout. That's why they use the new font.
No, the new design language is basically Wipeout. All the fonts looks like Wipeout. Basically, they even the designer of the new package for the new logos and stuff. They even cited Wipeout as an inspiration. So yeah, we're getting there. Wipeout 2048. It's time to be exciting.
30 more years.
30 more years.
2048 is gonna have a cross-promotional event with 7 Remake and Deus Ex.
Yep, pretty much.
Oh god. Okay, so there's
This next one is a bit.
This is not nice.
I mean, Do we want to do a cross promotion about this?
A wise man once said, "Those who do not learn from the past are doomed to repeat it." And somehow,
And so,
against all odds, I'm just gonna read what we have written in the docket here.
Mhm.
Monster Hunter movie by Milla Jovovich's husband. I don't think it mentioned the fact that apparently Milla Jovovich is going to be in the Monster Hunter movie.
As a monster?
On his...
Oh, Monster Hunter.
Yeah, there was a Monster Hunter movie announced a few years ago, and it's being done by Paul Anderson, aka the person behind the Resident Evil movies, because Capcom only knows one director.
Yeah, pretty much.
They keep using the same people. Oh, God.
And will star Milla Jovovich, who was also in the Resident Evil movies.
She have to play the
So-
monster. Come on, lah. We don't have
Yeah,
to put it.
I want Milla Jovovich as a Rathalos, please.
Or Kirin. That'll be
So
annoying.
does that mean that Monster Hunter is under the Resident Evil universe?
Oh, I mean, yeah, the like the pre-production stuff for the movie is like the plot is it's in modern day. They're kind of good doing this Assassin's Creed thing where there was like a secret order of hunters that kept monsters from invading our
Oh my
world.
god.
What the heck?
The weirdest
I
thing is, there are apparently people think they found like early test footage for the movie,
Uh-huh.
because some guy posted his demo reel, and in it was what looked like a live action Monster Hunter movie.
Oh boy.
Yeah, and it's the demo reel is nice. It looks great, but yeah, just live action Monster Hunter. Why?
Right, imagine if the main character's name, if Mila Jovovich is starring, is also Alice. Oh.
Okay, then we bring Claire Redfield into the scene. Get that Ratolo Summer in there.
Yeah,
And-
man.
At the same time, there will be a event at Monster Hunter World, the Resident Evil crossover.
Listen, man, Monster Hunter World loves its crossover shit, so I would welcome it. I would love an armor set that turns me into Chris.
And then you can punch a
It's
boulder into a
Yes.
Ratolos, into a Pickle Joe.
Yes, that would be great.
And
I mean,
Shiva is on the side just watching. Don't know what to do.
we already have like the Dante guns. They're already in the game, and God, but yeah, Milla Jovovich, man, she just can't stay out of Capcom. Why can't they make a beautiful Joe movie and have her be in it?
No, put Milla Jonnovich into a Capcom game. Put her into Monster Hunter World. Put her into
Oh,
Resident
yes.
Evil game, the new sequel. No,
Oh
don't
my
put
God.
Alice. Put Milla Jonnovich.
Yeah, it's just Milla Jovovich. And she's like, I've been in zombie movies, you know.
I think I know how to handle myself.
No, she got shot because she heard Ruby screaming,
You can tell we're getting tired when this is what we're doing. Okay, we have one last thing before we get into E3 news. I assume this is an Anan story.
And Anan, take the floor.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Before I'm continuing with this one, I literally just slept halfway through you guys' Blazblue Cross Tag until the Cliffy was. I literally slept through that 2 times.
Yeah, it was nothing anyway, so after.
No, it's a good service, though. You've experienced a good service down there.
Now you know. Now you know what our fans feel like.
So the Nazmi dia.log is an ASMR channel now.
Yeah. That's all it is. It's just like for people who have a Malay dude ASMR kink.
Okay. We'll continue on. Okay, Logitech just released a new mouse for you PC enthusiasts and stuff. So a new wireless mouse. So it's called a Logitech G305. This is basically a wireless version of the Logitech G Pro, which is the I'd say one of the favorite uh, Logitech competitive mouse. Another one is G102, which is the very budget one. So sort of in the middle in terms of the pricing, I say. However, it has one of the best sensor that Logitech has, their hero sensor. So the weight is below 100 grams and stuff. It's basically from the reviews that I've seen, is that possibly the best value for money wireless mouse for competitive PC player. So if let's say if you are someone who want maybe to try final mouse or maybe Zowie EC2, maybe put this Logitech G305 in one of your must buy or must try list instead of normal white mouse.
The one thing I like about it is that there's a built-in USB nano receiver storage. So basically, if I lose the thing, I can just put the USB inside of the mouse.
Yeah,
It's a good design.
And also their wireless, they have their own wireless protocol with the dongle itself. So they claim 1 millisecond response time, like white mouse with their own wireless dongle. So yeah, pretty good.
Like 12,000 PI. Too fast for me. And I don't even play Overwatch that much.
Yeah. Speaking of Overwatch, I don't know. Playing it is like a torture actually. Like it's borderline abuse now. Self-abuse playing Overwatch now.
Oh good God, you need to start doing the reports then. Send it send it to
pretty much
jabatan rumah tangga.
No. As you play, for let's say initially you play, this good game and stuff, very fun, and as you go on, you understand the nuances, you understand the team compositions and how the teamwork should how your team members should work, and at the end of your long play session, you feel why the hell did I still play this? This borderline abuse actually. Very mentally taxing.
Yeah, imagine 10 matches and you only won like 4. And your rank doesn't rise up. Oh my God.
I'd say one of the things that I identify the problem with Overwatch in terms of the tendency for people to tilt easily. So tendency of people to get toxic real easily in Overwatch is the
Toxic people in Overwatch?
No. People get toxic real fast in playing competitive Overwatch. Okay.
Pretty much.
Okay. If you get elimination, you get team kills, you get round wins, you get visual and sound kills. Okay. Ting, win. Ting, you get elimination. Team kill, or maybe a game win, victory and stuff. Now, those let's say auditory, maybe visual cues are very stimulating to the reward center in our brain. So it release the happiness hormone, oxytocin, something. I believe oxytocin. So it makes you feel good. Okay, but then when you losing, you get killed, and then the enemy character that kills you pretty much automatically badmouth you, saying their own boss line, and then their voice defeat, then seeing the kill cam and stuff. It's very a wide range of mood swings. Like 1 second you're happy, and then the next minute you're getting slapped because your friend is being the one at fault. Like that's why people are getting toxic, because
Can I just say I want an Anan voice pack for Overwatch now?
Why?
Just like as the announcer instead of the Athena voice, you just have Anan like ding defeat.
Much better.
It's so much more calming than the Overwatch one.
That it like emphasizing my point that the innate game design itself really promotes like on the spot toxicity, so rather than the long term itself.
There's a lot like competitive games are just like breeding grounds for toxicity.
Yeah,
I saw this post that was like, why the reason why more people play team FPSs than FGC is because in team FPSs you can blame your teammates.
Yeah.
Basically, yes.
Uh,
So,
Yeah.
we should wrap this up because we are very low on energy right now and we don't have time to refuel. So, last piece of news.
Yeah, this lightning round for E3. Let's talk about all the shit that's going on at E3.
Yep. So, the big thing here, first, let's just go into the lightning round of the games
The
that
Great
leak.
Walmart leak, yeah.
The Great Walmart pre-E3 leak.
Also known as pre-3, yeah.
So let's just go through all the games that may or may not have been confirmed to be revealed at E3. So, hype or not hype? Splinter Cell, new Splinter Cell.
hype. Michael Einstein is back.
Okay, my guy says it back.
That's the only reason. It's already hype.
I'm hype as well. We are due for a new Splinter Cell already. It's been long enough.
I mean, he was in that game, the
Violence, yeah.
Yeah, he was in. Yeah, that's your Splinter Cell game for the year.
I mean, that's a short 1 hour cameo. No, not even 1 hour, just a few
That was like
minutes.
few seconds, yeah.
We'll have an open world Splinter Cell. Trust Ubisoft.
Oh, but I don't know if I would like that, but yes, sure. Why not? Okay, let's move on. Just Cause 4. Hype or not hype?
Wait, who's making Just Cause 4 then?
Hmm?
Who's making Just Cause 4 then? If Avalanche is doing another game.
We'll talk about that later. But I think,
Yeah.
if I remember correctly, back in 2015, Just Cause 3 was in 2015, right?
Yep.
That year they also released Mad Max. So
Ah,
there's a
so-
possibility that there's two teams working in tandem. Not in tandem. I mean working in two other projects at the same time.
easy.
I'm only hyped because I now have a new game for benchmark purposes to stress test laptops.
You have
That's
Just Cause 3, I have GTA 5, so boleh lah.
The rest,
Uh,
not hype.
it's Just Cause, you know.
Mm.
You know what you're getting with Just Cause.
So,
Empty
no stuff up.
playground.
Yep.
So next, it was Dragon Quest 2. I don't know. It probably a wrong
A remake.
naming convention, a remake, or Dragon Quest 11.
This is another Dragon Quest, essentially.
Mhm.
I'm not sure because too big, so I'm not hyped.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, here's a game no one expected. WWE 2K19. Who knew we'd get another WWE?
No, it's just like F1.
Yeah.
It's broken as always. That's the problem. WWE could be good, but yeah, they don't decide to make it good. Okay, next, Borderlands 3.
Borderlands 3, hype.
Hype,
Yeah, hype.
hype. Even
But
if who's that guy? Randy Page would say it
Yeah.
will not be on
Blandy pitch part.
even if he said that it's not on at E3, I'm still hyped.
Probably show a trailer or something.
It's a good time already. It's a good
Mhm.
time for a looter shooter. Lego
That's not Destiny.
Yeah, because I skipped Destiny Comet or something because I don't think we are hyped for that. I'm going to assume, and I am assuming that is the correct assumption. So Lego DC Villains, hype or not hype?
It's another Lego game. Like this list is very safe. That's the problem.
Mm-mm.
A lot of it is stuff like you knew that was going to be there anyways.
It will be decent, that's for sure. It will have Lego game will always have their fans.
Yeah.
They're playing it safe.
Oh, like, speaking of Lego games, what game like there's one Lego game that follows the Lego game format, but also changed it, and I wish they would like remake it or something. Fucking Bionicle Heroes.
Oh,
Because-
Bionicle.
because it was like
Classic
this
stuff.
the Lego game format. Like, you know, you go around, but it's a third-person shooter.
It's a shooter.
Like, please, Lego, just bring that back. Like, bring it for me. Like, please.
Man, Bionicle, man. Good times indeed. So let's go next. Basically this is already confirmed. Rage 2.
Rage 2! Woo! Its
Rage
software
2.
still gets work.
Its
It's-
software and the developers of Mad Max, Avalanche Studios.
And yeah,
They are working together now. I'm
Mhm.
hyped because the first Rage, it had good shooting mechanics, but the rest of it was terrible. The open world is terrible. The vehicle part is terrible. So
It's so weird, like seeing people excited for it. 'Cause I'm like, didn't the world generally not like Rage?
true. And that's why when they announced, oh, Avalanche Studios is also working on it, I'm hyped. They know how to do car combat. They know how to do open world. So
I'm scared though if it comes like if it's announced like with Borderlands 3, because those are very similar games.
yeah, that's why.
and they are going for a Borderlands team as well. Going very campy, very the humorish side on it because the first Rage was too serious.
Yeah.
This one like very campy. So interesting.
If they time it right, also okay. Rage 2 is confirmed coming in 2019, spring 2019.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Then Beyond Good and Evil 2. Anyone into that?
Well, there's some gameplay, but it's still early days, so I'm not hyped. I'm waiting.
Uh-huh.
Same.
NBA 2K19.
Not hyped. The esports stuff is interesting, but not hyped.
But what if they have another app where you can take your photo and turn yourself into a basketballer?
No. If they had Spike Lee to do another story mode and they collaborate with David Cage, then I'm hyped. Just to see the shit show that is a stupid story mode. Never forget
what-
NBA 2K15. No, is it 2K15? The one with Spike Lee? It's one of those years. There was a very bad story mode. And it deserves a watch. Don't play it through the game. Just watch the train wreck. Okay.
Oh, that wasn't 2015 the year where like all these games suddenly got story modes like Need for Speed
Yeah.
and
FIFA. Yeah. Think so?
yeah.
NFL.
God, and that's why they say single player games are dead now. They all tried giving Need for Speed a fucking story mode.
Okay, how about another racer? Forza. The list is weird. Forza Horizons 5. When we should have when we should be having Forza Horizon 4.
Yeah.
Because why not just Forza? You know, like the number 4 then Za.
Don't give them ideas.
I'm okay with this, and I'm not sure I'm hyped yet, but I'm waiting for developments.
I wait for Xbox at E3.
Again, these are all like very safe options. Like, of course, there's gonna be another Forza. Like, Xbox needs a racer so that people will think about buying their console.
Find
Okay.
that dying console.
Okay, another safe one. Gears of War 5. Hype or not hype?
At this
I'm
point, they're
so-
stretching it.
I'm surprised. Like, we've gone a few years without a Halo.
Basically
340
that-
is struggling.
Yeah, it's really sad too because we were talking about like COD esports just now. Like, Halo is a great esports
Yeah.
game. It's an arena shooter.
Halo is better.
Halo's-
Esports than COD.
Halo's fun because the guns look cool. Like old school Halo. I don't know about Halo 5. Halo 5 kind of meh.
Not Halo 5. That is why people are playing Halo Online, because they want the old Halo 3 again.
Yeah,
They shut
man.
it down.
Well, Rip.
Rip.
But I'm
Rip.
glad that Gears of War 5 might be a thing, because Microsoft needs something right now. They don't have any games.
And
It is
Cliffy B is
because,
not doing anything.
Yeah, bring him back. Why not?
Yeah.
So anything else
I
on the
mean-
list that you guys want to talk about?
I guess it's all very safe. Smash on the Switch,
Well,
confirming. Like that's why Reggie Fils-Aimé is incepting people.
confirm.
Metro Prime as well, so
Metro Prime is
yeah.
confirmed. Okay.
I was just like thinking like when I was having like my Switch fever dream and stuff, right? Thinking about the uses of the Switch. I was like, because my friend and I like to go out to shops a lot, and we have a lot of times where we have like an hour to kill. Just imagine just putting down the screen and playing Smash while waiting for like a flight or something. Great. Yeah.
Isn't that one? Was it in the ad? I think.
The ad was Mario Kart, yeah, but
Yeah, it's more or less the same.
yeah, that's actually the whole reason I want to switch. There's this artist I follow who I saw at AMG last year. Behind her booth, she was playing Overcooked. Like she and her friends were playing Overcooked, and I'm like, holy shit,
sounds
that's
fun.
genius! That's genius. I want to do that too. But yeah, from this list, not much else. What are you guys' E3 predictions though? Like this aside, like let's make some predictions.
Right now. Right now.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, we
You better
don't-
feel.
Because all the easy ones are done. So now you have to come up with. You have to actually do some journalism and come up with.
On the spot, probably hard. But what if we reconvene on the next episode and ready a list of E3 predictions? Let's just talk about E3 the next episode, pre-E3.
Pre-tree, yeah.
And maybe we can
Yeah.
do a bingo card.
Yeah, we can design the bingo
Bingo
card next episode.
So then we know how good gamer matters at predicting E3. Probably bad. but
Okay,
Yeah.
so
we'll
pretty much.
try.
we have one final order of business then before we can end this episode. We haven't discussed a thumbnail, as is our tradition.
Good.
Ruby, done.
Okay, Ruby screaming something is one thing, and Mila Jovovich is there.
Yeah. We Ruby, right? But we cut out her face and put Mila Jovovich. But we keep the hairstyle. We keep the Ruby hairstyle.
Oh my god, that's perfect.
Yeah, and then hold on, I'm looking through what else we talked about.
The Switch.
Oh, and then Reggie Fils-Aimé as Professor Xavier. That done.
Okay, the Blazblue Cross Tag Battle picture, right? The one with the four leading characters, right? Okay, the one with Ruby, we replace the face with Mila Jonnovich. One of the guys, I think the guy on Blazblue, we replace with Reggie.
Yeah, Reggie the Blood Edge.
Reggie the Blooded. And then one of them is Adam Jensen.
Mm-hmm.
And one more.
And the other one
Generic
is...
COD guy.
Oh, I was gonna say Cloud, but yeah, sure. Man, if we didn't have that much talk about this week. It's just that we talked a lot about each individual thing, and I think I am to blame for half of that. As if we have any super dedicated fans, I want you to make a chart of how much of the podcast is me talking and just like show me week by week.
Make a one timer.
Yeah, I mean, we need a one timer. That's what we need.
And what we need now is to end this podcast. As this
Yeah.
has been gone for quite a long while. And
How long is this episode? We didn't have any mishaps this time.
1:45. So
yeah, around that. I think it's a bit shorter, but it feels long. You know what?
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's a new dawn for Malaysia. So that's another thing. Alright, so let's finish up and wrap the business end of things. Please.
Happy Ramadan to all our viewers. Like we're literally recording this on the 1st of Ramadan.
And may your struggles to fight the evil within be worth it. Okay, guys.
Well, this entire podcast is Sonic the Hedgehog because we all gotta go fast.
Oh shit, man.
Alright, time to promote your social links. Social
Ah,
links.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, social links. I am the chariot at Wamiro on Twitter. Please donate to my coffee, co-fee/Wamiro, because convention season is coming up. I've been confirmed I'm going to be at VAX this year. Buy my shit, because I am losing a lot of sleep working on it. Thank you. Daniel.
And what Akana are you?
I am the fool, so
Oh
you can
boy.
follow me. You can follow me on Twitter at Flaky. That's FL4KY, and buy one stuff, I guess. I
Anan.
Yeah,
Anan
as
is
usual.
definitely the lovers because of the girl under his table.
Nope.
The service was
Anyway.
so good you doze off. Imagine that.
Fuck, freaking snooze fest, okay? Okay, just you can add me on Facebook, Zulhana Heidi. You can
Mhm.
talk to me about anything, in IT, in games and stuff. But don't expect too much because I'm usually busy doing something else.
As we know. And last but not least, you can find Amirul Mekronos Ashraf, Meckronos, almost everywhere, but you can find me mainly on Twitter. Is the boy with the smoke can cap is Tower Akana because I want that. I forgot what Shakana again. But
He's the tower. Yeah,
it's
yeah,
the
he's
tower,
the
right?
tower.
Alright, smoke gun
Tower.
cap it is.
Yeah.
And there you go. Dia.log, the Gamer Matters podcast comes to a close. Thanks for tuning in. And don't just leave yet. We might probably embed that good interview with two of the Call of Duty players at COD World War II Asia Championships with Ranger and Nazmi later after the break, after the music. So there you go. Have a good day, have a good Ramadan, and hopefully none of us are going to be sent into the incinerator.
Oh yeah, actually yeah. We're all.
What?
I don't know. At least one of us is gonna get like tied up this month because I know at least I think it's Irham. Like I know one of us is a Setan. Don't know which one.
Yeah.
So there you go, guys. Have a good one. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
So how's the rate for your service, Anan?
Sorry?
Okay, hello guys, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a special interview we have that will probably be in dia.log, the Gaming Matters podcast. And this session we have two lovely men joining in with us from Rampage Gaming. So Nazmi and Hakim, say hello.
Yes. Hi.
Hello everyone.
Okay,
Yes. Hello.
Okay, so for those who do not know, Rampage Gaming is one of the local, as in Malaysian, esports organization, and one of their premier games they have teams, for Call of Duty. And with me here, we have two personnel from the team. One is an active player on the Call of Duty roster, and one of the management behind the management side. So guys, please introduce yourself. Your real name, your in-game name if you have.
Okay, me. I go first.
Alright.
Yeah, you can
Okay, so my name is Abdul and my in-game name is Ranger. I'm also the captain of the Rampage Gaming team, and also the owner of Rampage Gaming organization. Me?
Alright, my name is Muhammad Nazmi bin Nahar. My in-game name is Nazmi. I am the public relation manager for Team Rampage Pro.
Okay.
Okay.
So we now know the names, but let's get to know even more. So let's start with Hakim. Can you tell us? So how did you start playing video games? What is your first game? How did you get into video games in general?
I started playing video games when I was a young boy. When I was, if I remember correctly, I was 10 years old, and I was watching my sister playing Harvest Moon on PS1. At that time, I never touched a console game or any PC games. That was the first time I saw her playing. So I was started to develop, with her, like ask her, can I play? But at that time, I can't play because I was too young. So my first game that I played was in PlayStation 2. It was Spyro and
Oh,
Crash
Spyro.
Bandicoot as well.
Ah,
Yes,
okay, kita geng.
I love that game. Yeah, yes, that dragon game. That game is so good. And Crash Bandicoot and also some Metal Slug, all those old games. And for my career, I started playing Call of Duty when I was still same young. The first Call of Duty was Call of Duty only. There's no title, just Call of Duty. I think it was back in Xbox, the black one, the first version.
Yeah, not the
Um,
Xbox One, the original Xbox.
yes, the original Xbox. Yeah, the big one.
Yep.
Yes. So I played that, but I wasn't playing online. I was just playing the campaign, the story mode. Didn't touch online. I touched Call of Duty online when I was 12 years old, 2012. I played Call of Duty Black Ops. That was the first online games in my entire life, and I started playing, and it was so. The moment was so great because it was my first time touching online games, and it was so fun that I get to meet new people around the Malaysia community. Then I met some from another global place. And do you want me to tell me? Do you want me to elaborate more about my career now, or what?
Okay, hold that thought. So let's go with Nazmi. So how do you start get into video games?
Same as Hakim, but then I started playing PS1. I played the Metal Gear Solid. The game was fun. I mean, like we all know how Metal Gear Solid works. And then I then move on to PS2 and PS3. But then when I started playing competitive was back in 2015, Black Ops 3. Yeah, that's when I started to, I wouldn't call myself as a pro player, but then I did play some tournaments alongside with Hakim against him. Yeah, my first tournament I already faced Team Rampage Pro, so it's kind of like like messed up. Like I'm an amateur team, and then against like one of the best in Southeast Asia, and I definitely like got destroyed. But then it was a really good experience. And then throughout the year, Infinite Warfare, I had the chance to play alongside with Hakim, and we actually won one tournament together. Well, thanks for hard carrying me, Hakim.
Wow.
World War II was my first like professional debut. Yeah, so that's basically much it lah. Yeah.
Interesting. So
Yeah.
for Hakim, so a lot of you guys played starting a lot with Black Ops, right?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Just curious. Just hold on. I'm curious about. Do you guys follow the upcoming Call of Duty Black Ops 4? It's going to be announced like.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
mean,
waiting for it actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
okay. Just to poke fun. No. Just to pull the conversation here. Since
Okay.
Call of Duty has like a lot of I mean, like annually it changes, like it changes developer, it rotates, right? And then the
Yes.
team also changes, like for last year we have World War II, like, and this year we're going back to, like, for the teasers, I think it will be like near future again with Black Ops 4.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
just curious, like if like you guys have been in the competitive scene for quite some time, how do you guys adapt to this sort of changes every year? Is it okay, or do you like the annual changes to the gameplay, or is it just mostly the same thing?
I mean, for the past 3 Call of Duty titles, which was started with Advanced Warfare, where they implement the jetpacking playstyle, it was a struggle for most of us because we are not used to jumping around while shooting, because you need to get used of the controls and everything. But it is what it is. Competitive scene in Call of Duty always change, and that's the downside of the competitive side. But we like it. That's why when they came in with these jetpack terms, I mean jetpack gameplays, some of the pro players outside, they neglect to play the game because of the movement and such. And some of them, even from professional, they downgrade themselves to semi-pro and even become amateur because they can adapt to the gameplay. But for me, in my opinion, I love Call of Duty in general, and whatever the games provide, I will get used to it, and eventually we'll get good at it.
Nazmi, any comments?
Yeah, I kind of agree with Hakim. It's just because the game changes every year, and then like during the jetpacking, everything was a really fast-paced game. And then I mean, if you want to step up into the competitive scene, then you must be ready to adapt and overcome the game. Yeah, so like I was struggling also back then for Advanced Warfare especially because I played like Boots Underground when I first started playing Black Ops 2 and Modern Warfare 3. Yeah, and then when it started to like jetpacking games, and then I played against Hakim on Black Ops 3, and he was jumping around, and I was like pissed off, like this guy is a jetpack. We call it a jetpacker. If you keep on jumping and then you can like you're beast, you just call it a jetpacker.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's basically my team. Like
That's a term.
Hakim is like is good, is really good, and it pisses me off every time I play against him. Yeah, but then when got into the World War II, Boots on the ground, and I think like I'm trying. I mean, like I think like I can keep up with him. Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting because from my perspective as an outsider looking in, it's really interesting that you guys have to keep on adapting, changing to whatever Activision wants to throw at this new Call of Duty. It's interesting.
Yes.
Okay, so let's get back to the main topic actually of the interview that we want to discuss. How is actually the state of the Call of Duty community like in Asia and in Malaysia? Because before, a lot of the recent exposure is because like last week from the date of recording, we have the Call of Duty World War II Asia Championships that was organized by ESL Asia and supported by PlayStation as well. But beforehand, we don't really see a lot of Call of Duty tournaments taking the headlines. As in, there's probably some events, but most of them like fall out of under the radar. So, being members of the community, can you guys explain to me as well as the audience who are probably also not aware of what are you guys actually doing?
Okay, so I can
talk about it again.
Let me talk about. Okay, so we are also a part of MYCG company, which is called Malaysian New Competitive Gaming. Since 2014, Megat is the owner. He made the first ever Call of Duty event, offline event at Kuala Lumpur, Mandarin Oriental. It was called the Call of Duty Ghost, and that was the first ever LAN event for Call of Duty in history of Southeast Asia. So
history of
from
Southeast Asia.
Yes, like a major tournament. Tournament.
Yeah. All right.
Yes.
Okay,
so I participated in the event, and I met a lot of people that quite surprising that a lot of teams joined. There were 16 teams at that moment, and got to meet new players from there. Got to socialize with them. It was good. So starting from that, that was the first stepping stone, and then we jumped into the next year, which is Advanced Warfare. There wasn't any event because, as you know, Megat was 17 years old. He made the event when he was 16 years old. He was still a schoolboy, and he made the Call of Duty event in history. So when he was 17, he didn't make any. There wasn't any event from MYCG. Jumping to Black Ops 3, the next 2 years, we started to develop more LAN events such as the MMU Invitational, and we have Call of Duty Asian Championship that were hosted by Sony Japan and also ESL Asia. And I think because of the events that we made before, kind of open up the eyes of the organizers, such as ESL, the big ones, and also Sony, that they saw, probably Call of Duty, there are players that want to play the game competitively. So they took the risk to make first Call of Duty Asia Champs 2016, and boom, there were 40 teams that registered and played the qualifiers, and there were only 4 teams that came out and to play the finals at Taiwan. And starting from there are more events that we created from MICT, such as the Community Lands, Hot Shots 2017. We have Cyberfest last year. And then Kita Men also one of the organizers that organized the Community War from Muar to Kedah, and then one more in Shah Alam. Yes, so the latest one is the, like you said, Asia Championship 2018, which is the major tournament of this year.
Interesting, because
Mm.
but how can you say like how can you quantify how big is the community? As in, is it like for each tournament you keep seeing the same people over and over, or do you see a lot of fresh faces coming in here and there, like for the tournaments?
For every year, we can say that we see a newcomer for every tournament that we organize. It's not the same person that came on joining. It's the other face, like newcomer. So, and also like one of the reasons why I have so much love for my community and Megat's community also is that when we were organizing the Call of Duty Black Ops 3 tournament in MMU, we asked Sony for a PlayStation, you know, to sponsor us the PS4s and all. But then they reject us because we didn't have the numbers. So we had to ask the community to bring us the PS4, and they did. So that's how passionate they are towards the game. Like they want to help us a lot, and then we provide them like the tournaments, and you know, we like help each other. That's why I love this community so much. I have so much respect to them, each and every one of them.
Yeah, interesting to see that. And also, also, I want to ask a bit more about the state of Call of Duty in Asia as well, because like from what I've seen at the Asia Championships last week, a lot of the 4 teams that qualified all have mixed rosters, which is interesting to see. Like, okay, Rampage, you have like one Malaysian, you are game, right, and Singaporeans, and then one team in Vietnam is the Malaysian, basically the Malaysian team with 3 Malaysian and a South Korean, which is
Yes.
Yeah, I
it
am
was
from Vietnam.
interesting. You play for Vietnam, right? Okay.
Yes.
So how is the communication with the Asia region alongside with the Malaysian players here? How close are you guys?
I mean, the central compared like the biggest country that has quality players now are Malaysia and Singapore, of course. But like Nazmi's team, Venom, they acquired this guy called Artshot from South Korea. This guy is really interesting that he actually played for Call of Duty World Championship 2 years straight, 2013 and 2014, which we were never had the chance to play because back then the platform was at Xbox. So we didn't even know that competitive scene was in Xbox because we were playing PS3 and PS4. So I had to talk with him, chat with you. He said that back then the support from Xbox were huge, that they made qualifiers for each region, like Singapore for Asia and Korea for their own. So the communication at that time was so little that I talked to few Xbox players that was in my team, Axis and Xenon. They were from Xbox, so they knew this Artshot guy. They had to contact from Twitter or probably Facebook. So that was random. I mean, they met at public games in the Call of Duty, so they have to they talk from there. They know each other from there. But Nazmi, I think you can elaborate how you communicate with Artshot when he was in the team.
I mean, at first it was a really tough because he couldn't speak much English. We were having trouble at first, but then we taught him like the keyword what he needs to say, the call outs and stuff. But then in the end, how we managed to understand, how we managed to communicate, it's just that we understand each other, like we know what to do. And then because I'm like partnering up with him, like we play AR, or we call it assault rifle. So I know where is he going, like where am I going, so he knows what to do, and then I know what to do. Like we back up each other, so that's how we like understand each other lah. I mean, it's all about the game. You just need to understand about the game, then your communication with your friends also will be fine. Yeah.
Okay.
So
yeah.
Okay. You were asking about the state of Call of Duty community in Asia, right? Just now.
Yeah.
Okay, so Asia is general. Basically, if you say Asia, we include the Japan and also us from the Southeast Asia. We have two separate community until now, which is Southeast Asia community, and there's another Japan community. To compare both, the quality community in Asia is so big. Like if you play quality online, you'll meet a lot of Japanese players, like different players. You know, you can know they're Japanese judging by their name and such. So there's a professional team in Japan right now called Rush Gaming. They are close friends from with us. They just established as a professional team, and these players have been playing for so long, and their community is so big because I don't know, but probably because quality in Japan is very like supported well, but there wasn't any events. But since Rush Gaming is a very big organization now, so Sony started to develop more LAN events for them. And recently, they have a 100,000 USD tournament that team won. So that's really huge. Even it shocked the whole community across the globe because we didn't even know that Japanese had a lot of quality teams. So for our side, Southeast Asia, we call it minimal because even though it's Southeast Asia, there's not much from other countries such as Indonesia, Philippines, Thailand, or such as that. There are only players from Malaysia, mostly from Malaysia. Second goes to Singapore, and then there's a few in Philippines, and then there's also a few from Brunei. So you kind of say that only these 4 countries that has quality players. Mm-hmm. So I think that's the state. So I think Japan is the biggest for now. Yeah.
Yeah, and Southeast Asia is possibly on the up and coming, as we like to
Yes.
see right now, right?
Hopefully.
Okay, hopefully. So
Mm.
okay, you wanted to share your career, right? Okay, so
Yeah.
let me ask both of you guys, Nazmi and Hakim, you guys both have been playing pro. So can you guys give us a rundown on what of your past achievements and how do you guys stumble upon Rampage and Venom?
Achievements. I've been playing competitives since 2014 when I was 16 years old. So that's my first ever competitive debut. But my professional debut was in 2016 when I participated the Call of Duty Asia Championship Black Ops 3, and I placed second. And then starting from there, I started to play this game professionally, and I started to use my own branding, this Rampage Gaming, since 2014. I brought it up until now. So from there, I participated a lot of major tournaments, such as I got invited to CWL Sydney. This is Call of Duty World League from the Australians. They invited my team because I qualified for Asia Championship 2017 and placed second. So the top 2 teams, champion and the second place, will get invited to the CWL Sydney. And that was my first ever playing against professional players from other countries, such as the Australians. The Australians quality community was so big. There's a lot of professional team. They played so better than us. So we managed to grab top 16 out of 32 teams. And the first place team was Unveil Nova from Singapore. They grabbed the top 12, only a place higher than us. And starting from there, I just keep going, playing my game until now. Nazmi?
Yeah, so I started a bit late. I started 2015, Black Ops 3, and then when my World War II is my first debut as a pro player. Why I joined Venom is that because when I qualified, I stopped playing for quite a long time. Even Hakim knows this. I decided to just quit playing for about 4 months. I haven't touched COD at all. And then I heard there's a Asia Champs qualifier. And then Hakim and Megha is telling me, to just go and see if you can qualify. Because I stopped playing and then I just focused on organizing a tournament for the community. So it's been quite some time since I didn't touch. And then, but I still managed to qualify to the Asia Champs. And then a friend of mine named Hazik, he's the owner of Venom. So the Venom organization has been, he's been in the community for quite some time. They were also under Hakim's teams back then, right, Hakim? Like
Yeah,
EVGA, I forgot.
yes,
And
Evolution
then
Gaming. Yep.
they decided to like separate and then make their own team. And then so I decided to join to play under Venom's organization because they already like well established, and then they have their own GCs and logo. So yeah, so that's basically much it lah. So basically, I'm not a player, but then I'm an organizer, but I still can play. Yeah,
That's quite an interesting position to be. I mean, but
yeah,
for the case of your community, I think it's totally fine because it's just the same pool of people around that in the top positions that are
yeah,
always in the community, so it should be fine.
yeah.
But of
Yeah.
course, like if you think like big organization, of course this is conflict of interest, but it's okay.
Yes.
No, but then when I organize a local tournament, then I don't play. Yeah, I just organize.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
fair, right? Yeah.
I- okay, so a lot of the questions I have on the docket here is actually for Magad, as in because for those listening in, the interview was supposedly with Magad Danish, the
Oh, yeah, yeah.
manager of Rampage Gaming, as well as
Yep.
MyCG. Though we got two replacements, but that's another story. So I have to change a bit the questions I need to ask here. But okay, so both of you guys have did play at the Asia Championships. So can you talk to us about how your personal experience going? Like Hakim, you of course you cheered up on the stage as you
Oh,
won
yeah.
the championship. And
Yeah, yeah.
Nazmi, you were also pretty. You have a quite an entourage, if I have to say so. I heard a
Yeah.
lot of crowds cheering in. Even one owner keep saying, "Itu bosku, that's my boss." I don't know if you guys could hear from the soundproof booth, but
No, the headset was really a soundproof headset, so I couldn't hear a thing.
oh, go
Can I take this one for Nazmi?
Yeah, go
I mean-
go ahead.
go ahead.
Okay, I was watching him playing, and then the crowd was so on fire. They were cheering for. I mean, Nazmi made this one play where for the first game, which was Hardpoint, he was using the assault rifle and he just got 4 kills in a row, and the crowd was roaring his name like Nazmi, Nazmi. And then I was sitting there. I was like, yo, this is my boy here doing a good stuff for the crowd. You know, like he had his moments, and he made a lot of clutch plays. And I think, he's not decent. I think he's above average and should be one of the top 5 players I should look up to from the past event. Yeah. To me, anything to say?
I don't know lah. I mean, I was speechless. I mean, I just my goal was to help my friend out Haziq to bring up his organization name. That's all I wanted to do. I want to get a good placing for them. That's what I wanted to do, because personally I have lost motivation to play after after the started of World War II. I don't have any motivation. I decided to stop and just focus on organizing. And then I didn't even plan to play on Asia Champs. And then even if I did, yeah, I mean, like my goal was to help them. Yeah, that's all I wanted to do. Yeah, I want to make like the COD C region, to like well known. That's what I wanted to do, man. Yeah, I didn't even know that I can play. Yeah, like that well. I was speechless also. Like, yeah,
He had the drive. He had the drive.
After I lost to Everise, yeah, I was actually in Everise teams also, but then I got dropped. So and then after I finished playing, and then the caster even met me at the back, and then they told me that I was an absolute animal during the game, and then I don't know if I should be proud of it or what, but it is what it is. Like, I was a bit disappointed that I got third place. I was really looking forward to face Hakim's team, because I want to prove him wrong. Like, I can do this without you lah. Something like that.
Wow, that's interesting turns of events, because since I came in as basically an outsider, and I thought, oh, Nazmi, this guy must be the star player, and yeah, you actually did some clutch plays on screen, so
Yeah.
that was, I guess you should cherish that moment.
Yeah, it was, man. I was really shocked. I mean, like, I was surprised also.
So okay, on stage you said one of the things you said was, I've waited 2 years for this. Could you just give the context again? Is it the do you mean that this is the you have been waiting 2 years for such championships to appear? Kind of opportunity to appear?
When I say I waited for 2 years, it was because I played the first Asia Championship. I mean, there was three Asia Championship back in, like I said, 2016 was Black Ops 3, and there's one in Infinite Warfare 2017. Both of these events I played second. You know, and when I played second with the same organization, Rampage Gaming, and you know the demoralization when I played second was so like so big. Like I even told myself that I'm not gonna be a champion one day. But you know, but judging by that, I took it to the other way. I look at the bright side, saying if I can play second, why I can't place first? Like you know, from there I started to you know, learn how to be better as a captain. And also I look upon what mistakes that I did from the events and all that. Well, it was such a depressing 2 years waiting for this. So I thought that this year when the game came out, I thought the Asia Championship gonna be early, like the past 2 years. It's always happened on January or February. The first one happened in February. The second also happened in February. So we thought that the events will happen in February. But when the game came out, there wasn't any news, and when we even asked Sony that is there any Asia Championship this year, and they said no, probably not. So my hopes were down, saying that probably I won't get my shot at getting my first champs. But then when the event was announced, I was so happy. I was so, you know, I get another shot. Probably this is my time. So I gather all the best players on my team, the champions from the past two Asia Championship. They joined my team and I pull them out. So yeah, that's why I say 2 years of waiting for. To be exact, it's actually 3 years, 2 months, and 12 days. To be exact. Yes, I counted. It was 3 years, 2 months, and 12 days. Yes.
Always the bridesmaid, never the bride. Okay, now I get it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so for winning the Asia Championships, you guys, Rampage Gaming, are going to Anaheim, CWL Anaheim. So
Yes.
can you guys run us down on what is exactly CWL Anaheim and what do you expect from the tournament?
Okay, so CWL means Call of Duty World League. Is basically hosted by the game developer itself, Activision. So they make this. CWL is for the professional players and also the amateurs that want to jump into the competitive scene. So CWL Anaheim is a place in California. That's why they use Anaheim, because it's a name of the place. So it's a major event. Like if you know ESL Genting, then there's Manila Major, Dota 2, such as that. Same thing. It's a major event, very big major event. So this season, World War II season, there's 6 open major events. Starting from last year, 2017 December, it was Atlanta, and then to Dallas, and then to Birmingham in Europe. So this is the last one. This is the final one before World Championship, which is the international from Dota, same as Suem Gosa, which is Call of Duty World Championship. So there's 160 plus teams, including the pros and the amateurs. So we won the Asia Champs. We got a ticket to go there. Don't get me wrong, we will be playing on the open bracket side, which is very painful. Which is very painful because we have to face almost like, I mean, there's only 20 teams that were invited to play in the main stage, the group stage. There's 4 groups. They divided into 20, so like 5. Yes. So we're not going there. We're not going to the bracket play, the group stage. We're going to the open bracket. So we have to play like mixture of teams. We have 4 teams from Japanese that are coming. Like I said, Rush Gaming, and they have 3 more coming behind them, which is a very historic moment because let me just give you a little bit of intel. From Call of Duty history, there's none of like Asia team that joined these kind of events. So Anaheim, 5 teams from Asia, including my team, Rampage Gaming. That's a big history, and we fall under the category of APAC, Asia Pacific. So from APAC, there's Australian side, from New Zealand also. They have two teams that are in the Pro League, the 20 teams that are invited, which is Tainted Minds and Mind Freak, very big organization, well known. And then they have two more coming, which they're having their own qualifiers where we cannot play because only Australian and New Zealand invited. So imagine 4 plus 5, 9 teams from the APAC scene and 5 from Asia. So we saw Twitter and like social media, they were saying, oh, there's a lot of Asia. I mean, probably next year, the Activision will look on the Asia side and probably give us more opportunity. So back to the question again, Anaheim. What I expect is that not much. I mean, you're taking the fight to the world's best. Optic Gaming, Envy, Rise Nation, all these teams have years of experience playing on the main stage. So I expect my placement to be like at least top 48. I mean, to go there also, that's very hard because there's even professional team that jumped into the open bracket because they did not make it to the group stage. So that's even terrifying. That's even hard. You have to place the professional team that was supposed to be in the group stage, but they fall into the open bracket. So it's so we're gonna struggle hard. But if my team practice well and if we keep practicing against the Japanese, they're good contenders. I say we can make it. My goals is to be hope. I mean, like all the players' goals from the Japanese, so we want to make it to the pool play. And there's only 4 teams who will make it out from the open bracket to the group stage. 4 teams only out of the 100 plus. So you can understand the struggle. Only 4 teams. So I mean, if you qualify for the pools, we call it pools or groups, that's like one hell of an achievement. Even if you don't win an event, that's one hell of an achievement because you never have training against you never play the North American teams, European teams, or the Australians. Imagine going there first time, qualifying for the group stage. That'll be one hell of an achievement. And that's my dream. But realistically, top 48. That's what I expect. Yeah.
The open bracket, that sounds terrifying.
Yes.
But I
Yes.
hope you guys can do your best. So you said about preparing for the tournament. You said about playing against the Japanese players. So basically, you guys do scrims for preparation, or do you also do like other things like video analysis or something?
Call of Duty players, how they prep for the tournaments is obviously we call it scrims, practice. We play against better teams and we learn how they play. Like we record videos. Like when we're playing, we record the gameplay. So when the game ends, we end the recording and we rewatch it. We rewatch the bots, or probably if we are streaming, we rewatch the broadcast. And we see like what the kind of mistakes we made, like how did I die over there? I can fix that. And from my side, I don't think any other Call of Duty players did this, but I think I'm the only person that did this. For the Asia Champs, what I did was I printed out every single map layout and also all the modes, so I can see from the maps, so I can see, and then I draw like where should I push, and then when the team came to the event, I gathered in one room. We talk about it like, oh, okay, I should push here, and then you should go there. I mean, if this round, where will we go? It's even we going in depth. Looking, because if you understand the map, if you understand the gameplay, I mean, we all do understand the gameplay, but you need to understand like the map. There's a lot of maps like you can just run around and kill people, but we take it differently. We use our brains to play around the map. Like some players will just, okay, if they're playing search and destroy, they just, okay, I'm just gonna plant a bomb without looking my back. For us, we make strategies like, okay, if we plant a bomb here, somebody should watch at the back, somebody should watch at the right or top or something like that. So I took it to the next level, as you say that, and I drew all the places that we all should push, and it helps. Like we stormed the team on finals that we showed them no mercy because of the we call it as a ritual we did before the event, and I think I should do that again for Anaheim, and hopefully things will go well for us.
that's it. That's interesting stats there. So for those listening in, if you are a Call of Duty hopeful, better take Hakim's advice to heart because it
Yes,
it
I'm giving the
works.
secrets now. Yes, it works.
That's
It
me.
really
You
works.
taking notes?
Even us.
Sorry.
You taking notes? That's me.
Nah, I don't need that. I don't need that.
Oh,
I'm
Please
only- I'm-
don't take note of that. I
I'm
do. I
I'm
do.
already good enough. Just kidding, lah. I mean, Hakim is the person that I look up to. So of course, I watch how he plays and all. So the reason why I did well is because I learned from him. Yeah, he's the
Thanks, man.
person that I look up to. Yeah, so like even when during the interview, they asked me like, who's your idol, local and internationally. My local idol is Hakim, dude. Like legit.
Thanks, man.
My idol, man. No worries, man. I'm like,
Alright.
I'm telling you this from my heart, you know, like
Yeah, I know.
my man. Yeah.
look at this brotherly love. And with that brotherly love, we are almost at the end of our interview. So, Hakim and Nazmi, just want to just give your final last words and also any shoutouts if you want to do. Also, do promote your social media or YouTube channel if you have.
Oh yeah.
Time to shield, basically. Shield. Free.
Yeah. I shout out to our partners from Esports Kuala Lumpur for having our backs, and also to Kitaman that has been always behind our backs, supporting us and providing cultural events. And me, anything you want to say?
For Kitaman, like I want to shout out to Hazman and Moshi Fami. Like you guys are
And Shahi.
yeah, and Shahi. Yeah,
Oh,
you guys
Shahi.
are like our role model. Like these guys, like they are supporting us no matter what. Yeah, they've giving us interview for like I don't know lah. I'm really overwhelmed by that lah.
I mean, like for last year they gave us like a lot of tournaments and opportunities for the players to play. You know, without Kitaman, like they won't be like a lot of supported from other organizers besides MOCG. And for ESKL, thank you so much because they invited Megat for the interview. What was that interview? Was that
NSX.
NSX Digital at Sripentas. So
Yes.
they had like 3 more like people that they can interview, but instead they chose us for the interview, which is very it was a good opportunity. So for social media, you can follow my Twitter at FPS Ranger. Nazmi, your Twitter account?
My Twitter account is Nazmi Nahar.
So for our organization Rampage Gaming, you can follow our Twitter page where we always update daily, and also our Instagram. Same thing, Team Rampage Pro, and also our Facebook if you guys want to follow it. For my personal YouTube account, you can subscribe if you want. I post a lot of competitive videos. If you guys want to learn about competitive, I'll be the man. And don't worry, I use mixed language. But mostly I use Malay language because I have a lot of requests that I should make videos in Malay language, my own mother tongue's language, so that a lot of the community from Malaysia can understand what actually the game is. It's not an English game. Don't worry, you guys can still play if you guys do not speak English. It's a normal game, There's nothing. So I post Fortnite videos, other video contents, and I also stream on Twitch. If you guys want to check it out, it's FPS Ranger. You guys can follow my Twitch. I always stream my matches against other teams, my practice, and also some chill gameplay such as Fortnite. Always play that. And besides that,
Another one. Another one that make sure to follow our Twitter because we'll be doing another giveaway.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yes, Team Rampage Pro. Don't forget Team Rampage Pro at Twitter account and Instagram. Always update the team and all such. And we have an upcoming video that's still in progress by our video director. We are doing behind the scenes that what our players were doing, and it's gonna be interesting looking at how we prep during the event, behind, like we call it behind the scenes. Yeah. So stay tuned, guys. Don't forget to follow, and my YouTube channel as well.
Interesting stuff. And again, Hakem and Nazmi, thank you very much for coming in. And that is it for our interview. So hopefully this goes live. And for those Call of Duty hopefuls, please follow the scene because even though we don't really hear that much, but you can hear them coming. They are getting there.
Yeah. Wow.
So,
I have something to say.
Yeah.
For the audience. Take the opportunity this opportunity, if you really want to, if like I know a lot of casual Call of Duty players in Malaysia, a lot, like really a lot, like they don't know that Call of Duty has a competitive or esports side, because of the developer itself doesn't implement that much in the game. So I suggest if you guys really want to take this opportunity, take it now before it becomes like Dota 2, because like there's a lot of like professional players from Southeast Asia. If you want to be a professional Call of Duty player now, should take it now. Like don't waste the chance.
Yeah.
Now's the time. Yes, like that's what we're trying to tell like the whole community, gaming community in Malaysia. Like Call of Duty is one of the big games out there in the Western countries. A lot of players trying to be pro, but it's so hard because there's a lot of phase they have to go through. Like even CWL, if they want to join CWL, they need to find a good teammate, and that's so hard because all the good ones are already in the professional team. So if you want to start it now. That's my advice from both of us.
Yeah. So there you go. Lots of opportunities to be in the esports side of Call of Duty, and you get to #grow COD C or C COD. I forgot.
Hashtag Grow Asia.
Grow-
Hashtag Grow Asia COD. Yes,
Grow
that's
Asia
what our
COD.
hashtag-
Okay.
Yes.
So #Grow Asia COD. And there you go. Okay. There you go, guys. That's it from us. And goodbye.